This is Jeffe Kennedy, also writing as Jennifer K. Lambert, author of epic fantasy romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Jeffe Kennedy, I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Ah, so good. Today is, say it with me, it is Friday, October 10th, 2025, 10/10/25. Oh, I almost buried the lead. Uh, we did the cover reveal for Among the Thorns. Uh, and for the trade paperback of Never the Roses. It all happened yesterday. You can see it on social media. I'm sure that Sydney the Wonderful will pop up those covers on here. I don't have to hold my phone up to the camera anymore. So it's very exciting. They changed the trade paperback cover of Never the Roses a little bit because suddenly everyone realized that like we didn't have the books on the cover, and that had been part of the initial marketing scheme, and it got lost along the way. And it's like, why don't we have books on the cover? And so they changed that, added books to the cover of Never the Roses, a little more subtle, and then very obviously on the cover of Among the Thorns, which is Showgirl Orange. Boom. It's beautiful. In many ways, I like the cover of book 2 better. There's just something about it. I love that it's so bright and so vibrant, and yeah, all of those things. So you can pre-order it now. It comes out. They changed the date without telling me. Probably not just because they didn't realize or they forgot. They only pushed it by a week. So I had been telling you July 7th. It is July 14th. Pre-order that, please. That'll make Bramble think that I'm worthwhile. It's been a week, hasn't it? It's been a week for us Swifties. I'm I'm not going to spend half the podcast talking about Taylor Swift. I really promise. Although Sydney the Tyrant is not tyrannical on this topic and indulges me far too much because I like how she puts like the little album covers on there and stuff. Isn't she great? She's doing a great job. Uh, but yeah, it's if you are not online a whole lot on social media, then you probably missed a lot of this. And you know what? Good for you. Because, so this is what I think happened is with Taylor dropping her album last Friday. And then, I mean, she broke a new record. She has now officially done more in sales in the first week of an album than anyone else in recorded history. Recorded history. um, yeah, something like 35 million in sales. So all these people trying to say, oh, even Swifties think the album is bad, are clearly wrong. They're wrong. But there have been all of these horrible takes on social media. And I think that it has been fueled by, it's just weird that this has come down to be such a microcosm of my particular world, right? Where there is, I mean, yes, she's a huge pop star. She's the biggest pop star on the planet, right? So, there's a lot of us. But it's funny to me that, like, the people in my circles are being attacked by trolls driven by the White House. I mean, how are we in this place? But that is clearly what's happening because I hate Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift has spoken out against our current administration's white supremacist policies, high profile liberal, all of these things. That she was being, and this album was being relentlessly attacked on social media. And there were all of these people who, it can be difficult. Sometimes you can tell who the bots are. Apparently, Like, as soon as the Kremlin ran out of money this week to fund the bot farms, did you all see this in the news? Like, the Kremlin ran out of money, couldn't pay the bot farms anymore, and like, boom, boy, did the troll traffic drop off. It's like, oh, huh. I did put out a pro tip to say that if you're on Threads, to change your um, setting from for you to following, then a whole lot of the horrible takes go away too. They also started attacking Katie Porter, senator, I think, from California, trying to say how awful she is. I mean, it's the same playbook over and over again. Same thing they've used to try to smear Blake Lively. Can you hear the cat crying in the background? So anyway, there have been all these people with these terrible takes, and I know I talked about it on Tuesday too, but it's continued all week long. People trying to translate Taylor's lyrics into that she's endorsing white supremacy. And I'm not going to bother to go into like the details. You can find it if you want to find it. It's frankly not worth it. And but there are all of these, especially in like writing circles, these white women saying how the lyrics are racist and all of this, and that she's endorsing white supremacy, which is no, no. And when women of color have been chiming in and saying no, and of course, nobody is a monolith, right? White women are not a monolith, black women are not a monolith, Latinx, Native American. But when some of the women of color have been chiming in and saying no, that they don't think that like this use of savage means Native Americans, that it's a different use of savage, like white women are coming back and correcting them. So I've been trying to uplift as many voices of women of color as possible, to the point that amusingly, the algorithm is now sending me ads for how to take care of my hair, ads that are very clearly targeted at Black women, because these are not products that white women use. And I got a spam DM on Instagram offering me help for my Black owned business. So, and I thought, hey, I'm okay with the algorithm thinking this. It's a crazy world, people. It's a crazy world we're living in, and crazy times, right? In the US, the government's been shut down. And because the Republicans are terrified to reopen government, because the Democrats now have enough votes to release the Epstein files with all of this horrible incriminating evidence, and many a Republican is going to go down. And I suspect maybe some of our tech billionaires are in these files as well. Would explain why some of them abruptly bent the knee, right? Yeah, it's starting to come apart because government's been shut down. Air traffic controllers who are not being paid are stopping coming to work. So now flights are being delayed and canceled all over the place, and the whole system's coming apart. And I don't know what's going to happen, but somehow it's all boiled down to people arguing about Taylor Swift's album in my little circles, and it's kind of hysterical. But the best part has been that the joy over the album has not been diminished. Maybe that's not true to say that it hasn't been diminished, because I know a lot of people would have liked to just be able to, I don't know, enjoy a stinking pop album, right? Enjoy the release of an album and not have all of this. But uh, whether it's because the Kremlin ran out of money or people have run out of steam because their arguments are so foolish, then at least we're done. One thing I wanted to say about beauty is that not only do men treat beautiful women like trophies, even the good ones, even the guys who think that they're good and in our general good partners, they still have this thing where If they have a beautiful wife or girlfriend and they go out, they are proud to have her on their arms, right? They're proud to have all the other men see how they landed this hot woman. And I know some very beautiful women. I know that this is true because I know these very beautiful women who have commented on this, on how they have been treated by men, um, even the ones who love them and that they love, because of this commodification of their appearance. It's really insidious and kind of awful. But the piece I didn't mention the other day, I don't think that I wanted to, is that it's difficult for these women, also difficult to write a character like this because other women have zero sympathy. Women who do not have this kind of beauty recognize it as being, um, what do they call it? Like the pretty commodity, something like that. Uh, they are resentful and they don't think that a woman who is extremely beautiful, that it can be a problem for them. And they are sometimes even farther down the spectrum than unsympathetic. They're actually hateful about it. And it's like the beautiful cheerleader who gets something terrible happens to her, and they act like, well, that's her comeuppance. That's what she gets for. Um, that's what she deserves for being beautiful. It's a weird thing, but anyway, I wanted to mention it. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the oatmeal comic, which I've been reading for a very long time. Uh, and we can grab the link for this. Sydney, I will message it to you. The Oatmeal had a comic on using generative AI in writing, and it was really insightful. I thought that it was put together very well. But one of the points that I especially appreciated in this was talking about, he was making the comparison to having one of those Casio keyboards and how back in the day you could press the button and it would just play music. It would play pre recorded music. And he was talking about how that was fun the first couple of times, but all you're doing is pressing a button. You're not learning to play music. You're not learning to make music. It's not anything interesting to a human being. And that's how generative AI is, because you can put in these prompts, and I don't care if people say, oh well, it takes skill to learn the correct prompts to put in there to get, like this piece of art or to get a piece of writing. uh, Yeah, I mean, it takes a certain skill to do an effective internet search too. We talk about Google foo ironically, but here's part of why saying I have good Google foo is tongue in cheek, because what Kung Fu means is work done over time. That's roughly how it translates, right? Because the study of martial arts is intertwined with philosophy. It's intertwined with this improving your overall health, your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. It's work that's incremental and it takes a long time to achieve. And art is the same way, right? Any kind of art, we engage in it because it is something that we do for ourselves as human beings, right? That we want to be creative. As many people have quipped, we want the robots to clean the sewers and do our laundry and clean the house. We don't want them to do our creative work for us. You know who wants generative AI and the robots to do the creative work for them? let you in on a little secret. You know who wants that? Are the people who are too lazy to put in the work over time to develop it. Because people will say, well, I don't have the talent. And it's like, well, I've known a lot of people with talent over the years who went nowhere with their writing. It's sad but true. Talent is nice to have, but you know what succeeds? Skill, skill and craft, persistence, the ability to hold your own feet to the fire, and all of those things are things that take more time than pressing a button. So the reason Google Foo is a joke, right? Because I think some people say it unironically. They're like, yes, I know how to put those prompts in the search engine to get what I want, which is getting harder and harder, right? Because search engines like Google, I was telling someone this the other day. I used to argue that Google would never mess with the search results because their entire business model rests on us being able to find the thing that we want to find. And I was wrong. I've been wrong on a number of things. I have them all written down. Um, but I was wrong on this because now it's getting to the point where there are so many sponsored ads and algorithm influenced results that you almost cannot find the thing you want to find, which is, I do think, we'll see if I'm wrong about this, but I do think it's going to have the ultimate result, and already is, of making us go away from search engines like Google, right? You can't trust it. You can't find what you want. So, like I've gone to using DuckDuckGo, which isn't as comprehensive as Google, unfortunately, although I think it's getting better. But also, it's not giving me the results they want me to see. It's actually trying to find the thing that I'm looking for. But the thing is Google foo or search engine foo, feeding prompts into the computer requires so very little effort, so very little skill, ability, creativity, that it's laughable. It is, I love this metaphor. It's pressing the button on the Casio keyboard and saying, play music. Um, yeah, okay, so you get some music out of it. And if you're a complete idiot, you can pretend that you created something. And the people who are pretending that they created something, that's what they're doing, and they're saying, well, I'm just taking advantage of the tools. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, so go take advantage of the tools and pretend like you did something instead of actually putting in the work. Because this is the great secret, and it's not even a secret, but let's pretend it's a secret, and I'm going to let you all in on it. When people ask about what is the most gratifying moment, say, of being a writer, I'll just speak to being a writer. I'm sure this is true for other creatives too. They say, well, was it seeing your book in the bookstore, or was it getting this shiny trophy, or was it getting, I don't know, the big check, or getting Catherine frickin' Heigl to do a TikTok about how great your book is. Okay, all of those are very shiny things. I will not lie; they're lovely, wonderful things, and I would not trade those experiences because they are gratifying. But all of those things are external validation, and external validation is transient. And in the dark moments of the soul, they ultimately mean nothing. You can go look at your shiny trophy, and that is why I keep it right here by my desk, so I can remind myself that I did write something decent once, which sometimes you need to do. But do you know what's sustaining? What the truly most wonderful moments are? And I think every true creative will tell you this, that the most sustaining, wonderful moments is when you get something to work. Like when you've been revising and you can't get something to fall into place and then it does. There is no feeling like that in all the world. It is incredible. Or when you're drafting and something comes to you and it's like the rays of the light and the angels singing, it's indescribable. And I would wish this experience for each and every one of you, because it is peak human being. It is absolutely peak human being. This is what I believe we are here for, is to find this, to express this from ourselves, right? And you don't get that from pressing the button on the computer keyboard. And when I say I wish this for all of you, which I absolutely do, I'm going to tell you right here and now, you're not going to get it by using generative AI. Do you know how you're going to get it? You all could say it. I'm going to pause and let you say it. Yes. Work done over time. You have to put in the work, and it's going to be painful, and it's going to be tedious, and it's going to be exhausting, and sometimes you're going to want to give up. But that's entirely the point, is that you don't give up. You keep going and you find it, and it's amazing. It is the most that any of us can hope for. And I promise you, when you get there, when you experience that, it will truly be one of the best moments of your life. So, on that note, I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. I hope you get to work on something that is meaningful to you. And I will talk to you all on Tuesday. You all take care. Bye bye. Here comes the cat. Yes, yes. You just see the tail go by on the video. Yeah.